Good afternoon. My name is Olive Burrows and you're watching NTV at One. Joining me this afternoon is Eleonora at the Kenyatta National Hospital, Kevin Mutai in Mombasa, and Bernard Ojwang in Migori County. We start with Bernard Ojwang in Migori, where the much anticipated impeachment motion against the governor, Okoth Obado, failed to take off. The motion of impeachment was expected to be tabled on the floor of the House for debate, as earlier announced by the ODM party national chairman, John Mbadi. But now, as we'll hear from Bernard, the Assembly Speaker has been arrested. Bernard, do we know under what circumstances he was arrested?
Well, thank you very much, Olive. It is close to 4 weeks now since ODM party leadership met Migori County MCs who were elected on ODM ticket, and they resolved to impeach Migori County Governor Zachary Okoth Obado. And of course, since they came up with the issue, it is still not known when the motion will be tabled. Today, we went to the county assembly to see what was on the order paper, but unfortunately, what we thought could have been in the order paper was not there. That is the motion to impeach Migori County Governor. It is something that has come up with different reactions and, of course, different cases. Recently, we had Migori County Speaker Boaz Okoth claiming that his life is in danger. And, of course, last week we saw chaos at the Migori County Assembly where one of the MCs was injured and currently getting medication in one of the hospitals. And, of course, today what we are made to understand at the court, the DCI, Migori County DCI, arrested 2 MCs involved in the assault, and they were taken to court today. And also, we are made to understand that Migori County Speaker Boaz Okoth has also been arrested in Nairobi, and we will be following that. Coming back to Obado impeachment, Olive, I'm telling you, it is something that many people can't now talk about it because they thought it could have been a walk in the path. And of course, they started saying that next week they were ready. And of course, you had what Mbadi said in Nairobi, that they have good numbers, saying that almost 37 MCs had already signed. But when he came back to Migori, where he met close to 200 delegates, including the MCs, he said each and the numbers, saying that they have 31 MCs supporting the party's move. And saying that they are still in talk with other parties, at least to support them in the move. And of course, as we speak, it is still not known the day this motion will be tabled on the floor to enable the MCs to discuss. And of course, we are made to understand there's a division between the MCs, as majority of them are criticizing the party's move, saying that they should be allowed to perform their roles and as oversight in doing their oversight role. Back to you, Olive.
All right, thank you, Bernard. We now cross over to Mombasa County, where Kevin Mutai is standing by. On the day, President Uhuru Kenyatta eased restrictions on pubs and restaurants. Kevin Mutai, how has that news been received?
On Split. We are joining the broadcast live from Bamburi, an area which hosts more than 100 bars and, of course, with restaurants. This is an industry that dealt a big blow after the government imposed tough restrictions to contain the spread of the coronavirus disease, as business owners currently are saying that they are struggling to revive their businesses after incurring losses worth millions of shillings. Most of them have been closed for the last 6 months. And following yesterday's address by President Uhuru Kenyatta, we've seen quite a number of them are trying now to clean up there are lots of activities currently going on, including they're trying to clean up their places of business, just trying to come back to business. But let me just quickly engage one of the businesses here in Bamburi to just give us his take of the president's address yesterday. What can you tell us about was it welcoming with regards to how the government is trying to revive this industry?
That's a good question. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Samuel Njaga Muguna. I'm the proprietor of Drips. We run, which consists of a bar, a restaurant, and also accommodation. Well, we welcome the measures that the were announced yesterday by the President. And we also appreciate that he reduced the VAT regime to 14%, which cushioned most of us. However, we greatly suffered during the last 6 months, having incurred a lot of losses. Our staff lost jobs. Most of them are really suffering. And we were even unable to meet our overheads as we speak right now. Yeah.
But how was the situation when you were closed for the last 6 months?
Oh, it was terrible. I would say it was terrible. It was very tough for us. We had to feed our staff because we could not afford to pay them salaries. It was really tough. Yeah.
Are you aware of any proprietors who probably might not even make it back to business?
There's a possibility that most of the small proprietors will not be able to open because some of them are on loans and some of them are owed a lot of money in terms of rent, electricity bills, and also salaries, and also suppliers also.
Yeah. But of course also, even as the government relaxes some of these restrictions, there are protocols that the Ministry of Health maintains that must be adhered to for you to be allowed to reopen, with of course also the issue of licensing again. What are some of the key areas that perhaps are of concern that you are looking into with regards to those issues?
We have met all the protocols as per the guidelines of Ministry of Health. As you can see, we have spaced our tables. One table apart from another is 1.5 meters, a maximum of 4 people per table. Then, of course, the time that the President announced yesterday is a bit too short for us to make any meaningful revenue. Though we are thankful, but the time is too short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And of course, you heard him there saying that they've really suffered a big, big losses. But I also spoke to just one of the bar owners just next to where we are standing, and he told me that he used to have 39 employees, but right now he maintains that he's going to only retain 7 of them. So that means 32 of them will no longer have their jobs. So there is something that we'll be looking into and perhaps deliver a more comprehensive story on how the business owners are trying, the efforts they're putting in place to ensure that they come back to business. Back to you in studio.
Thank you, Kevin. And we go to the health sector now. Medical workers in Makueni County Referral Hospital have threatened to down their tools, citing poor working conditions and low pay. And this comes as health workers across Makueni's 234 health facilities were advised not to report for duty within 14 days if the county's administration fails to hear them out. Union officials say that they have been facing financial constraints over poor pay, failure to implement promotions, redesignation, biased remuneration, among other complaints.
Where on earth have you seen a qualified clinical officer, a qualified nurse who has gone through training, rigorous training, for 3 years or 4 years mandatory internship, and you give them a consolidation of 30,000? How do you even arrive at that?
Since devolution, we have been having issues with the promotions. The County Public Service Board does promotions when they sit, which makes our members to drag behind and stagnate. They don't backdate. So our members lose the merits and they lose their arrears. For the ones who have been senior, they are bypassed by the junior ones.
Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta issued various directives to ensure food security as farmers prepare for the onset of the short rains. Among the directives was to the National Cereals and Produce Board, which was ordered to slash drying charges by 50% to bring it to 20 shillings. Now, here is what else the President said.
The national government will also make sure that maize dryers are made available to all maize growing areas by the coming season. These dryers will be community-based and therefore will be managed by groups of farmers, cooperatives at community level. This will ensure that farmers are able to store or sell their maize at the appropriate moisture content and thus contribute to enhanced farmers' income. Our National Cereals and Produce Board has stores across the country that are currently not in use. And so I therefore direct that the NCPB avail these stores to our farmers and farmer groups and traders for storage at an affordable cost.
Gabriel Kudaka joins us live from Eldoret to inform us or educate us on how the farmers there have received this news. Gabriel, have they received it well? Do they still have issues with the directive?
Yeah, thank you so much, Olive. Indeed, the presentation of a draft of measures aimed at helping farmers mitigate the challenges they've been going through as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Among them was reducing the price of drying maize at the NCPB by 50%. That is from 40 shillings to 20 shillings per bag per month. And all this is aimed at addressing post-harvest losses. Madam, what's your name and then what's your reaction to that?
My name is Ruth Kemboi Maraba. I'm the chairperson of Wasingishu Kenya National Farmers Federation chapter, and I really want to commend the president for what he has done to the Kenyan farmers. We are so grateful and we are very happy as farmers. Today, we also want to tell our farmers that the president mentioned 2,500, and that is just minimum. It's not the maximum. And we want to tell the millers that as farmers, we are not going to accept anything less than 25, and it's our wish the price to go even up to 3,500, because the president has just given the maximum, the minimum. Yes.
He also said that they'll be giving prominence to local farmers first before they think of importing maize from other countries. What do you say about that?
Yeah, we really want to thank the president for that. Currently, our millers have been doing so many things, but I really want to thank the president for giving prominence to the farmers so that before they sell any product, let them finish with the local farmers. Before they go out, before they look for other markets, let's finish with the local farmers, and even request the farmers federations or even farmers stakeholders to request for more, not the millers just to go straight away and do their own thing. So it's really our wish and even request to the millers to go as per the request of the farmers.
Thank you so much. Before handing over, there's another farmer here as well, just on the same issue. What's your name and then what's your take on that?
My name is Stephen Teigut, a farmer in Wasingishu. One thing I would like to say is that every farmer has got every reason.
Gabriel Kudaka speaking to farmers in Eldoret following the president's directive to the National Cereals and Produce Board to slash the cost of drying their maize. We take a break. More news on the other side.
Hey guys, so I'm about to head out to meet the girls. As you know, this is the outfit of the day. We're about to go out and we're going to meet the girls.
Family Bank and Simba Corp have been in collaboration to help you grow your business by offering affordable financing for acquisition of brand new commercial vehicles. Access up to 95% financing with a flexible repayment plan of up to 60 months and enjoy a 2-month repayment holiday. Call us today on 0703 095 445 or visit any of our Family Bank branches and Simba Corp dealers and branches countrywide. Terms and conditions apply. Family Bank, with you for life. Family Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya.
Never understood. news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Are you worried about the weather ruining your new roof? Are you running out of budget to build your roof? Don't worry, Royal Mabati Factory has you covered. Delivered free of charge as fast as possible. You can also use our Lipa Pole Pole offer to buy your Mabati and pay in easy monthly installment. Royal Mabati Factory. We are the best.
Taking pride in constructing tomorrow's skylines. Adding strength to Kenya's landmarks. Presenting the power for specialized constructions. Cementing the nation's future. Simba Cement, the strength and pride of Kenya.
Now also produced in Nakuru and Mombasa.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at One. Well, we've taken a look at how bars and restaurants have received the easing of COVID-19 restrictions by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now let's take a look at how the religious fraternity has received the news. Now, the Interfaith Council for Corona Pandemic Response has called on politicians to call off their political gatherings until the pandemic is completely subdued. The council's chairman, Archbishop Anthony Muheria, says that the church is now ready for phase 2 reopening of the church that will welcome the elderly over 65 and young ones under 6 years old.
The limit of the time duration of worship session will now be 2 hours. We will also allow group meetings and special services for youth and special groups, provided they follow the other criteria of social spacing and duration. The number allowed in any place of worship will now be determined by the 1.2 social distancing. 1.2 meters social distancing. We here, as the Interfaith Council, wish to appeal to you, our dear political leaders, that we should not gamble with the lives of Kenyans. Please, we ask you in this COVID time, please postpone your political public gatherings that put our people at risk because they gather without masks and without social distancing. We need you to give us an example of compliance beyond wearing masks.
Every 28th day of September, the world comes together to raise awareness of rabies, a disease that primarily affects dogs and is deadly to humans. The Department of Veterinary Services says it targets to kick rabies out of Kenya by the year 2030 under a campaign dubbed Zero by 30, partly through countrywide vaccination drives in Kenya. Rabies has been a public health problem since the first case was reported in a dog on the outskirts of Nairobi in 1912 and in a woman from the Lake Victoria Basin in 1928. The exact number of human deaths due to rabies in Kenya is unknown, although estimates have been made for some regions of the country and as part of the global burden of rabies estimates.
Makueni County is an area that is all too familiar with rabies. Many homes here have suffered the jaws of rabid dogs.
Nilikuwa na ng'ombe kidogo na yeye kwa haikuli. Na ilikuwa inakaa kama inajipicha na ikiona mtu inataka kukimbia.
Kijana alikuwa anacheza pale chini, kapita karibu na mbwa, ilikuwa imelala, lakini ilikuwa imelala kando. Kijana kupita ikamrukia, ikamuuma hapa.
Benjamin's son survived. He was 11 years old at the time of the attack, and now, 3 years later, he doesn't go near dogs anymore.
The area that would have been considered the highest cases would be the former Kamba cluster, Machakos, Makueni, and then the former Luo cluster, which is Kisumu, Homa Bay, and Migori area.
In every year, we report about 73,000 cases of dog bites. And we also report deaths between 500 to 1,000 deaths from rabies.
Despite the number of deaths as a result of rabies being low, the disease is classified among the top 5 deadliest zoonotic diseases. It is, however, also considered neglected due to the low public awareness and the high cost of treating dog bites. While most rabid animals cannot be saved, infected humans can if they receive post-exposure care quickly.
Sometimes you experience prolonged periods of paralysis, dampness, but sometimes it gets so violent.
Challenges ya kwanza, kama ni mtu ameumwa na amekuja hospitali, unaweza pata, for example, hakuna PPs.
As the country marks World Rabies Day this year, dog owners have been encouraged to ensure that their dogs are vaccinated.
This is a one dose vial for dogs. It costs only about 100 shillings, at most 150. So is that affordable? Against, of course, human vaccination that will cost you no less than 7,500 to go through 5 injections.
So far, only 800,000 dogs have been vaccinated countrywide against an estimated population of 5 million dogs. Zainab, Wandati, NTV.
Monday was not only World Rabies Day, it was World News Day, a day that highlights the critical role journalists play in providing credible and reliable news. But as Anita Nkonge explains, this role has proven increasingly difficult with the rise of fake news.
Initially coined by Edmund Burke, the Fourth Estate has for many centuries been considered a watchdog, one that is vital for a democracy to be functional. The watchdog role for journalists then is to hold power to account and be a trusted news source amongst many other vital roles. With the technology revolution and the fact that so many people now have access to internet and smartphones, one of the many problems journalists are now constantly tackling is the rise of fake news, false information presented as factual news.
We've seen front pages of the popular daily newspapers being hijacked. The stories often carry those front pages recast using many times untrue messaging. And for the uninitiated eye, at face value, you might seem like this is the true front page of that newspaper, when indeed it is not true.
Just recently, the World Health Organization termed the rise of fake news on COVID-19 as a rising infodemic that, just like the virus, was highly contagious and grows exponentially, complicating pandemic response efforts. Media houses have, as a result, had to try to get ahead of the infodemic, but it has not been easy.
It is a critical moment for news media, in that there are lots of systemic challenges that threaten the ability for the public to get reliable and credible journalism. Mostly because the business model that has funded our journalism for a long time is broken, and most media houses that I know are working very, very hard to repair and find new answers to that.
With greater access to the digital space, journalists are forced to work much harder to inform above the falsehoods. The average citizen is also encouraged to critically analyze information they may receive, as well as use various available tools to look beneath the surface.
The best medicine against fake news is provision of reliable and credible information. The duty bearers that are required to come to the table for that. The one most responsible entity to make sure that the public has credible information is the government.
Anita Nkonge, NTV.
Police officers, I beg your pardon, from Dagoretti and Kabete stations had a hard time controlling demonstrators who were complaining of what they termed as insecurity after a businessman was last evening shot and killed by robbers. The demonstrators lit bonfires and blocked the busy Karen Dagoretti Road, and a cat and mouse game was witnessed between the demonstrators and the police as they tried to calm the situation. They also cited a lack of police presence in the busy slaughterhouses where a lot of cash transactions take place, while they blamed the police of only extorting bribes from traders and other transport operators. And that concludes NTV at 1. Be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. for our day's other news bulletins. But any live event, breaking news will bring it to you live. So please stay tuned to NTV.